Imagine this for a second. The school year is finally over. Exams, done. All that pressure from essays, deadlines, is just lifted.
Yeah.
You're at this big graduation party, right? In Canada, busy city. Friends are all around. There's music, a bonfire, just a good vibe.
Total freedom, celebration.
Exactly. A night that's supposed to be about joy, looking ahead, bright futures. But what if that night, for 5 young people, just spirals into this unimaginable horror?
It's awful.
Rooted in these really baffling beliefs and just a sudden brutal act.
So today we're going to tell you a story. It's a true story, and a deeply tragic one from Calgary, Canada.
Yeah.
Our goal here is really to walk you through the events of that night, what happened, and to try and understand the dark forces at play, internal, external, whatever led to this.
Chilling.
We need to look at the lives lost, these people full of promise, and also the mind that caused this horror. It's complex.
Okay, so to really get it, we need to set the scene first. We're talking about the University of Calgary. They have this tradition, right? Bermuda Short Day.
Yeah, it's quite famous locally, since 1960, actually.
Wow. So last day of classes, students wear Bermuda shorts, which in Calgary, that's brave. It could be freezing, like minus 14 Celsius, even in spring.
It's kind of a fun defiance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Student thing.
Totally. The university puts on official events, but then, like you'd expect, everyone kind of spills out into after parties, rented student houses, that sort of thing.
It's a classic college scene, really. End of one chapter, start of the next. And this night, April 14th, 2014. Well, it was meant to be just like any other celebration. Just friends getting together.
And this specific after party was at a rented house, known locally as the Butler Mansion, apparently.
Right.
About 30 students there. Pretty relaxed vibe, Some people out back by a bonfire, laughing, sharing stories.
Others inside, maybe just chilling out after all the studying.
Yeah, exactly. The kind of casual, fun college gathering you'd picture.
Wow.
Pure celebration.
And in that crowd were 5 young people. Each one with their own dreams, their own path, just starting to open up. And hearing their stories. It's key to understanding just how big this tragedy was.
Okay, let's talk about him. First, Roland Hoot. He was the oldest of this group, born in the Philippines, but his family moved to Calgary when he was 7.
Okay.
People described him as really curious, outgoing, loved exploring the city. Apparently, he'd ride his bike late at night sometimes, just discovering new places.
Oh, wow.
He was studying urban studies. He'd actually switched from engineering because he was so into city planning. He used to build these amazing, detailed model cities with his dad.
That's fascinating. And his mom was in real estate.
Yeah, so that probably fueled his interest too. Seeing how cities grow and change.
Then there was Kariri Perez, born in 91. Middle child. Her parents divorced when she was a teen, and she went to live with her dad and stepmom, Cam.
Right.
And she had a younger half-sister who she absolutely adored, really looked after her. People said Kariri was determined, strong-willed, but also really soft-hearted, a loyal friend. And she loved writing.
Yeah, she did. But then, kind of later, at 23, she found ballet and just fell in love with it. Dreamed of becoming a ballet teacher.
Wow, a new passion. Okay, next, Jordan Segura. He knew Kaidi from high school.
Right, they were friends.
Raised by his mom, Patty, a single parent. They loved family ski trips. Jordan was really into religion and history. Very diligent guy.
And he had that part-time job, right? Limo driver for a funeral home.
Yeah, which sounds unusual, but people said he showed such genuine care for the families. Like, he'd wait patiently no matter how long things took.
That says a lot about him.
Definitely. He wanted to be a business consultant, travel the world, make videos documenting different cultures. Big dreams.
And Josh Hunter, close friend of Jordan Kaidi too.
Yeah, part of that same group. Loved his family, his sister, known for being gentle, supportive, just a really kind person.
And a musician.
Oh yeah, big time. Talented drummer since he was like 10. Passionate about it, dreamed of a music career, maybe owning his own record label someday.
Bringing new music out there. Exactly. And finally, Zachariah Rathwell. Zach. His parents, Rhonda Lee and Bush Rathwell, divorced when he was young, maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
His mom raised him.
Okay.
Zach loved singing from early on. Taught himself guitar around 13. His mom got him his first one from a friend.
Oh, that's cool.
Apparently he practiced constantly, hours every day. Became a really skilled guitarist and singer. He actually took a gap year after high school just for music.
With his band.
Yeah, they got pretty popular locally. Had a successful debut album. Later, he enrolled in music at Alberta College of Art and Design. That's where he met Josh.
Ah, through the music connection.
Right. Bonded over that shared passion.
Hearing about them, Roland, Kaidi, Jordan, Josh, Zach. it's just, it really hits you. So much potential, so much life just waiting to happen.
Absolutely. Vibrant people, unique dreams, all there together
It
celebrating.
makes the whole thing, the tragedy, just so much heavier, knowing what was lost.
Yeah. And the awful irony is they had no clue, just zero idea of the horror that was literally right there in the room.
A shadow waiting.
Exactly. A shadow. And that shadow, well, it arrived with Matthew De Grood,
Yeah.
22. And on the surface, he seemed like another promising kid, planning to go to law school at the University of Calgary. Good background.
His dad was a senior police inspector, right? Douglas De Grood. Well-respected, 33 years on the force, involved in the community.
Yeah, decorated veteran. His mom, Susan, an accountant. Matthew himself had a psych degree from U of C. It looked like, a solid, well-adjusted family.
But there was something hidden, something his family didn't know about.
Right. This secret obsession. Matthew was deep into conspiracy theories, like really fixated. Doomsday stuff, vampires, blood moons, the supernatural, really dark, intense themes.
And he kept this completely separate from his family.
Totally. They knew him as the good student, the athlete, the volunteer, this whole other internal world. He never shared it.
Yeah.
Completely compartmentalized.
Wow.
But at the party, his behavior started getting really strange. Disturbing even. Total clash with that public image. He was seen wearing blue surgical gloves, which is odd enough at a party. But then witnesses saw him washing his hands with the gloves still on.
Okay, that's bizarre.
Yeah. And he was carrying garlic, handing out cloves to people. Talking about a blood moon, some kind of vampire war, the end of the world, just rambling.
And his friends, what did they make of it?
Well, they mostly just thought he was really drunk.
Yeah.
Dismissed it as intoxicated rambling. They didn't see the danger signs, didn't connect the dots.
That's a tough one, isn't it? How often do we maybe miss signs when someone's really struggling mentally? Especially in a chaotic setting like a party.
It's so easy to just explain it away. They're just drunk or they're just being weird.
Our brains kind of look for the simplest, least alarming explanation, I think.
Looking back, it seems obvious, maybe. But in that moment, at a loud party, maybe substance is involved. How hard is it really to tell the difference between someone just acting out and someone in a genuinely dangerous mental state?
That's the critical question, and it is incredibly difficult in real time. I think the key difference often lies in the nature of the weirdness. Is it just general drunken silliness, or is it specific, thematic, and persistent?
Like the garlic, the vampires, the end of world stuff.
Exactly. Alcohol usually doesn't create such a consistent, specific delusional framework. When you see that pattern, especially if it seems detached from reality, that's a much bigger red flag than just being loud or clumsy. It points towards something deeper, more structured, even if it's irrational.
So the night continues. It gets late, past 1 a.m. People are starting to drift off, leave. Some are grabbing late night food from the kitchen. The party's winding down. That familiar end of night quiet is setting in.
And the scary part is how quickly it changed. From that relative calm to just absolute horror. There wasn't a big fight, no obvious trigger.
No. Matthew De Grood was in the kitchen. Zach was there too. And suddenly, Matthew grabs a large kitchen knife. Just grabs it. Without a word, no warning at all, he attacks Zach. Stabs him 7 times. Just like that. Unprovoked, brutal. The night just shattered.
And he didn't stop there.
No. It was immediate. He moves into the living room, attacks Josh, stabs him 6 times. Then Jordan, who was nearby, 1 stab. It was fast, indiscriminate, horrifyingly efficient.
Just went from one to the next.
Kaidi saw it happening. She screamed, tried to run towards the dining room. But he chased her, stabbed her 4 times.
Patey.
And Roland had actually fallen asleep on the couch. He had been working late on a project, totally exhausted.
Yeah.
Matthew attacked him while he slept. Stabbed him 4 times.
So all 5, Zach, Josh, Jordan, Kaidi, Roland, attacked within minutes.
Yes, the 5 friends we talked about earlier. All of them.
The speed is just terror.
Meanwhile, outside, a group of friends is coming back. They had gone for McDonald's. Brandon was with them, Matthew's friend, the one who invited him. They hear screams. They see Matthew attacking Josh out in the street. And Brandon, incredibly brave. He runs up, confronts Matthew, manages to get the knife away from him, tries to calm him down.
Wow, his own friend.
Yeah. And what happens next is just chilling. Gives you a real insight into Matthew's state of mind.
What did you do?
His hands are covered in blood. He smears it on Brandon, tells him they're blood brothers.
Oh my God.
Then he warns Brandon, don't stand in my way or I'll kill you too. And then he just fled, ran off into the night.
Unbelievable. And inside, did anyone else know what was happening?
Well, yeah. Unbeknownst to most people there, a young woman had been working quietly in another room, had headphones on, but eventually the screams got through.
Okay.
She waited a bit, then cautiously came out,
Yeah.
saw blood everywhere, immediately called 911, sounded the alarm
Thank goodness she did. So emergency services arrive.
very quickly. The response time was incredible,
Yeah.
but tragically, for most of them, it was already too late.
Oh.
Zach, Jordan, and Roland were pronounced dead right there at the scene. Katie and Josh, they rushed them to the hospital, but they died shortly after arriving.
All 5.
All 5. All those young lives we described, gone. Just like that.
The police had to find Matthew then.
Right. They brought in police dogs, tracked him down pretty quickly. When they found him, he fought back. Hard. Hit one of the police dogs, tried punching the officers.
Resisting arrest.
Yeah. But weirdly, witnesses said he showed no sign of pain, no fear. Almost like he was detached. When they searched him, he still had the blue surgical gloves on. And the garlic.
And did he say anything? About why?
He did, right away.
Yeah.
Told the police he needed the garlic to ward off vampires. And then he said, and this is key, I had to kill him before they killed me.
Wow. Pure delusion, believing they were the threat.
Exactly. Then he asked for a lawyer and said he wouldn't say anything else.
And the families? Notifying them must have been, I can't even imagine.
Just horrific. Roland's parents were already worried sick because he hadn't answered calls or texts since the night before.
Oh, that's awful.
Kaditi's stepmother, Cam, she actually heard news reports about 5 murders at a party. Feared the worst, even before the police arrived to confirm it was Kaditi.
Oh my God.
The grief, the shock for all of them. Jordan's mom, Josh's family, Zach's family. It's just unimaginable. Their world just completely shattered.
So the investigation starts looking into Matthew. What did they find? Anything in his past?
Well, no criminal record, which makes the sudden violence even more baffling, right? But they did find a history of substance abuse, cocaine, ecstasy. Back in grade 11, he got treatment for it.
Okay, so there was that history, maybe some underlying vulnerability there.
Possibly. But the really big red flags, the things that seem more directly connected, started showing up in 2014, the year this happened.
What kind of things?
His parents noticed major changes. He became intensely focused on religion and politics, obsessively so, posting constantly on Facebook, like 20 times a day sometimes.
Wow. What was he posting?
A really strange mix. Heavy metal lyric stuff like "The world needs a hero," alongside Bible verses, and all mixed in with these wild conspiracy theories.
The same themes he talked about at the party.
Yeah. He got really withdrawn, too. Spent way more time online than with family. His parents got worried, thought maybe he was relapsing, using drugs again.
Understandable concern.
His dad actually called Matthew's friends, asked them to try and include him more, get him out socially. And that's, tragically, why Brandon invited him to the party that night.
Oh man, they were trying to help. That's heartbreaking. It's such a tough spot for families, isn't it? Knowing when changes are just a phase versus a serious mental health crisis.
Exactly. Trying to re-engage someone socially, like his parents did, seems like a natural response. But it just shows how hard it is to gauge the severity, to know when professional help is urgently needed.
Yeah. Those red flags weren't just concerns, they were signals of something deteriorating badly.
And on the actual day of the killings, his behavior got even more specific and alarming. He left his part-time job early, went out and bought 3 packs of garlic and a bottle of garlic supplements.
Doubling down on the garlic thing.
Yeah, and he withdrew $500 cash. Unusual for him. Left his car at work, took a bus, met up with Brandon later, claiming he couldn't remember the party house address.
Okay.
Then he gives Brandon a clove of garlic. Says it's for protection from vampires. And he gives him a long knife, saying it was something for his work.
Wow. It's hard to just write that off as being drunk or quirky at that point. It's very specific, very planned.
Right. And then at the party itself, remember, he throws his phone in the bonfire, then takes an axe to it, says communication devices aren't needed anymore, the end of the world is coming.
Destroying his link to the outside world almost, fully committing to the delusion.
And there's one more really chilling detail. Earlier that day, his parents texted him while he was supposed to be at work.
What did he say?
He replied, "Don't worry about me, Mom. I won't die. No one will die. You can't come here, you'll die. I'll be home soon."
Oh my God. That message.
It terrified them. They started frantically searching for him after that. But it was too late.
And the speed of the actual attack. You said it was incredibly fast.
Terrifyingly fast. The police timeline puts all 5 murders between 1:21 a.m. and 1:23 a.m. Just 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And the first police car was there just 3 minutes later at 1:26 a.m.
It wasn't a drawn-out fight. It was a blitz. That speaks volumes about his mental state, doesn't it? That disconnect from reality.
It has to. In that kind of psychotic state with those paranoid delusions, the perceived threat must feel absolute, immediate. There's no hesitation, no remorse in the moment because the mind is convinced it's acting in self-defense, however distorted that reality is.
It's like the act feels necessary, not violent.
So what happened legally with Matthew De Grood?
Well, he underwent psychiatric evaluations. He was diagnosed with a mental disorder. Reports suggest schizophrenia, though the court focused on the presence of a disorder causing psychosis.
Okay.
And on May 25, 2016, the judge ruled him not criminally responsible, NCR, for the murders. Meaning the court found that because of his mental state at the time of the killings, he couldn't understand that his actions were morally or legally wrong. He was so deep in psychosis, so detached from reality.
It's important for people listening to understand what NCR really means here. It's not saying he didn't do it.
Exactly. It's not an acquittal in the usual sense. It's an acknowledgement that his mental illness was so severe, it removed his capacity to form criminal intent or understand wrongfulness. His reality was completely fractured. He likely genuinely believed he was fighting vampires or saving the world, acting against an imaginary imminent threat.
So no prison then?
No. He was sent to a secure psychiatric hospital for treatment and confinement, and every year, the Alberta Review Board reviews his case. They assess his condition, his treatment progress, and decide if he's safe to be released, even gradually back into the community.
And the victims' families?
They attend those hearings every year, still dealing with unimaginable grief, and they consistently oppose his release. They believe he remains a danger. It's an ongoing struggle for them, seeking safety and some form of justice within this legal framework.
And his current status?
As of the last reports, around December 2023, Matthew De Grood is still being held in the psychiatric facility. The review board has not yet deemed him safe enough for reintegration into society.
So this whole story, it just leaves you with this profound sense of sorrow. 5 young people, their lives just extinguished. Gone in minutes.
It's a devastating outcome of untreated mental illness. While we don't know the full clinical details, it's clear his delusions, his psychosis drove these actions.
A truly haunting lesson.
It really is. It reminds us that sometimes the most dangerous threats aren't things outside us, but internal struggles, unseen, untreated, with impacts that ripple out and destroy lives.
Yeah. This story.
Yeah.
It's just unimaginable horror, really.
Yeah.
Young lives, so much promise, meeting such a dark end. The pain for those families, Kaities, Rolands, Jordans, Joshes, Zachs. It's impossible to fathom. And for Matthew's parents, too, dealing with what their son did and his illness, we really hope telling this story, as difficult as it is, maybe makes you think. It really highlights how crucial it is to maybe notice those red flags we talked about. If someone you know, a friend, a family member, seems to be struggling, really struggling,
don't just dismiss it.
Right. Reach out. Encourage professional help. Talk to someone close to them. Early intervention.
Yeah.
It really can make a difference. Maybe prevent outcomes like this. Your awareness, your willingness to maybe step in, it could be vital.
Thank you for joining us as we talk through this really tragic event today.
Yeah. If you found this story, well, gripping or thought-provoking, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We share more true stories like this one.
We appreciate you listening.
Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be back with another story soon.